might need more of a running start.
T'arrêtes pas!
Two brothers robbed the two most dangerous crime bosses in the world on the same night, and neither one saw it coming. One of them lost his entire collection of the rarest cars on Earth. The other lost a $50 million Ferrari. And get this, he was actually helping the brothers the whole time, and he still got played. But here is what makes this movie special. Everything you are about to watch is a lie. Every plan, every alliance, every heist. None of it is what it looks like. These two brothers are lying to everyone on screen, including you. So let us go back to the very beginning, because to understand how they pulled off the impossible, you have to see exactly how it started. At the start of the movie, we are dropped into a glittering auction house, packed with the richest people alive, and every eye is locked on one thing under the spotlight. A stunning 1937 Bugatti. The auctioneer drops the line that sends the room into a frenzy. Only two of these cars exist on Earth, just two. And the bidding explodes. 30 million, 34, higher and higher. But then the camera finds one quiet man. His name is Jack, and he is not bidding for himself. He calls his boss, gets the green light, and slams down a monster bid. $41 million. Dead silence. Nobody dares to top it. Jack just walked away with one of the rarest cars in the world. Now burn this car into your memory, because it is not what it seems either. Next, we meet the two men this whole movie lives on. Andrew and Garrett. Professional car thieves, obsessed with supercars, and they have stolen some of the finest machines on the planet, without ever getting caught once. But tension is already crackling between them. Andrew is furious, because the night before, Garrett's own girlfriend drove off with one of their stolen cars. There is no time to deal with it though, because tonight, their target is that same $41 million Bugatti. Jack is hauling it down a long road in a truck, and the brothers are waiting. And their plan is completely insane. Garrett pulls up alongside the moving truck, while Andrew throws himself onto it with a rope, and it goes wrong instantly. His fingers scrape across the cold metal roof. His legs swing out over the road, blurring past at 80 miles an hour, and for one heart-stopping second, it looks like he is falling to his death. Then, at the last moment, he grabs on. Garrett swings underneath him, so Andrew can drop down and jump back up. Inside, Jack figures it out fast. He presses a gun to the terrified driver's head and screams at him to ram Garrett off the road. But Garrett is a pro. He whips sideways and blocks the whole road, forcing the truck to crash and slow to a crawl. Jack loses it, spraying bullets everywhere, until his gun clicks empty. And that half second is all Garrett needs. He climbs onto the truck and cuts the brake line clean through. Now it cannot stop. The brothers force their way in, drop into the Bugatti, and the engine will not turn over. Jack, realizing the brakes are gone, actually leaps out of the moving truck to save himself. And then, at the very last second, the Bugatti roars awake. The brothers blast out and vanish, while the driverless truck spins out and flips in a screaming wreck. They just pulled off the impossible, or so they think. Because stealing this car is about to become the worst decision of their lives. They hit a bar to celebrate, and Stephanie storms up and slaps Andrew for leaving her behind. Turns out she is part of the crew. We also learn Andrew and Garrett are half-brothers. Same father, different mothers, and stealing cars is the only life they have ever known. But their high dies fast, because the next day, everything collapses. They take the Bugatti to Jimmy, the man who hired them, expecting a payday. Instead, Jimmy will not even touch it, because he has learned the truth. This car belongs to a powerful, terrifying criminal. When Garrett pushes, Jimmy snaps his fingers, and his men beat the brothers unconscious. His plan is to hand both the brothers and the car back to the owner and save his own neck, and then that owner walks in. His name is Morier, and the second he appears, Jimmy starts trembling. The brothers wake up tied to chairs, staring down the most dangerous man they have ever seen. Morier takes his time. He tells them how he was born dirt poor, clawed his way up from nothing, and built a criminal empire until he became untouchable. Then his voice drops. Stealing his car was the last mistake they will ever make. And to prove he is not bluffing, he spins around and shoots Jimmy dead right in front of them. But before he finishes the brothers, he wants to show them something. He walks them into a massive garage, and what they see steals the air from their lungs. Wall to wall, the rarest cars on Earth, worth more than most countries. These cars, Morier says, matter to him more than his own life. Then he calmly slides a fresh magazine into his gun and starts walking toward them. This is where they die, unless Garrett can talk faster than Morier can pull the trigger. The gun comes up, and Garrett blurts out a desperate offer. What if they steal a car even rarer than the Bugatti and hand it to Morier? Andrew jumps in and paints the picture. There is a man named Max, a genius, rich since childhood, in college at 15, with an MBA years ahead of everyone. When he turned 30, his father handed him the empire, plus a priceless gift, a one-of-a-kind 1962 Ferrari, the only one of its model on Earth. And here is the detail that changes Morier's whole face. Max and Morier are sworn enemies. Max has cost him millions. So the idea of ripping away his most prized possession? Morier loves it. He gives them a deadline, 7 days. Bring him that Ferrari, or they both die. Then his men throw the brothers into the water and drive off. Now hold on to one question, because it is the one the whole movie is hiding. How do you steal an impossible car from an untouchable man in 7 days? The real answer is nothing like you would guess. Soaked and shaking, Garrett panics. But Andrew goes quiet, and then says something that lands heavier than any punch in this movie. This is his last job. After this, he is done. No more running, no more stolen cars. Because he is going to marry Stephanie, and for the first time in his life, he wants to wake up like a normal man, with a normal future. Garrett stares at him like he is speaking a foreign language. Stealing is all they have ever been. But there is no time to argue. They have a week, so they move fast. Stephanie brings in Devon, a pickpocket so smooth she will lift a wallet off a cop's belt and hand it back with his own pen. And the moment Garrett sees her, he is gone, completely smitten. Then comes Lynn, an explosives expert who talks about blowing up a house the way other people talk about the weather, and 4 professional race drivers who leave the brothers speechless behind the wheel. Just like that, the crew is stacked. But back at the apartment, someone is already sitting in the dark, waiting. Andrew grabs a bat, and the stranger introduces himself. Laurent, Morier's cousin, sent to watch the crew's every move. But Laurent swears he can help, because he knows one of Max's closest men, Cohen, who runs all of Max's illegal business. Get Cohen on their side, and they might find Max's secret garage. Only Cohen does not trust Laurent, not with Morier's blood, so he sets a test. But keep your eye on Laurent from this point on, because how this man dies, and why, is one of the most satisfying moments in the whole movie. And it all traces back to a single mistake he is about to make. First, though, Cohen's test. Garrett's first challenge sounds easy. Spin the car in a tight circle without knocking over a bottle. He nails it. But the second one? Pure madness. They have to stop a moving airplane, with a car, and it is seconds from takeoff. Andrew begs him not to, but Cohen makes it simple. No plane, no Max. So Garrett floors it toward the runway. Police swarm instantly, but the brothers ram straight through them, metal shrieking, one police car after another spinning off into the dirt, and then they rocket onto the runway. Garrett cuts in front of the plane just as its wheels lift, pops his roof, and drives his car straight into the engine. A massive explosion rips it apart. That plane is never flying again. Cohen is stunned, and then he drops it on them. That plane, and the entire airport, belong to Max. Their smartest move now is to meet Max face to face, before he drags them in. They roll up to Max's mansion, and he is furious about his destroyed plane. But Garrett flips it around, promising him that working together could make far more than any plane is worth. Impressed by their nerve, Max agrees. Then Laurent asks to see Max's private collection. Max gets suspicious. How does this guy even know? But Laurent lies smoothly, swearing he hates Morier and wants him dead. Max buys it and takes them inside. The collection is breathtaking. And there it is, the 1962 Ferrari, their target. But do not watch the car. Watch Andrew. because this is the most important 2 seconds in the whole film, and it is so fast you will miss it. While everyone gawks at the cars, Andrew's eyes are locked on Max's hands, and through a pane of glass, he catches Max keying in the garage's security code. The instant they leave, Andrew writes it down and slips it to Stephanie. Remember that code. That code is the whole movie. Back at the apartment, 2 Interpol officers are waiting. They are chasing a wave of rare car thefts across Europe, and only 2 names ever come up: Andrew and Garrett. Their warning is simple. Next time, they come with proof. So now it is Max, Morier, and Interpol, all closing in at once. And it gets worse. Stephanie heads out shopping, and Jack tries to snatch her off the street. She thinks fast, swipes an apple to cause a scene, and nearly slips away, until a second man cuts her off, and they grab her. When Devon breaks the news, Andrew snaps. He storms Morier's house, and beats Jack to a pulp. But Morier levels a gun on him, and walks him into the garage. And there is Stephanie, tied flat on her back beneath a car, a wheel spinning inches above her face, the whole machine shaking like it could drop at any second. Andrew freezes. For the first time in the entire movie, the man who fears nothing cannot move, because one wrong word, and the woman he just promised a normal life to, gets crushed in front of him. Morier's terms are brutal. Bring him Max's Ferrari, spill the whole plan, and hand over the crew. Cornered, Andrew agrees to bring them the next morning. The next day, Andrew lays it out: steal a bulldozer, steal police cars and uniforms. Have Devon call Max, pretending police are about to raid him, and when Max runs, they grab the Ferrari. But in the middle of it, Max's men swarm in, and Max drops out of a helicopter. He stares Morier dead in the eye, tells him he knows the plan cold, and that he is always 10 steps ahead. Then he is gone. Morier, boiling, locks in the heist for tomorrow and orders Laurent to watch the crew like a hawk. That night, when the Interpol officers turn up again, Andrew stages a fake fight with Laurent to sell the idea that they cannot stand each other. It works. But humiliated, Laurent takes his rage out on Stephanie, and there it is, the mistake I told you to watch for. Because in that exact moment, while Laurent is too busy being cruel to notice, Stephanie quietly lifts the key to her own locked room right off him. And now, everything you have watched flips inside out. The next morning, Morier heads to his meeting. But the Interpol officers ambush him with questions instead. And here is the truth the movie has been hiding the whole time. The crew was never going after Max's Ferrari. The real target was Morier's entire collection, from the very start. And the whole plan was cooked up with Max from day one. The team rolls straight to Morier's mansion. Inside, Stephanie breaks free with that stolen key, hacks the security system, and trips the alarm. The guards scatter to hunt for an intruder, giving her the window to slip out and throw open the main gate. The crew floods in. Lynn blows the garage door apart, and before a single guard reacts, they escape with every last one of Morier's priceless cars. And when Morier's men run to their own vehicles to chase them, Lynn already rigged those with bombs. One button, and the whole fleet erupts in flames. When Morier refuses to talk, the officers move to arrest him. And that is when he realizes they were never real Interpol. He signals Jack, escapes in the chaos, and works out that Andrew robbed him blind. So the chase erupts. And right in the middle of the madness, Andrew pulls over, turns to Stephanie, and proposes. She says yes on the spot, but there is no time. Morier and Laurent are still on them. Laurent creeps up behind Andrew, finger on the trigger, and slams head-on into an oncoming truck. Dead on impact, the spy who never should have laid a hand on Stephanie, gone. Then comes the bridge. The cars scream across at full throttle. Lynn throws a bomb, but it goes off too early, with Andrew still on it. The whole thing collapses beneath his wheels. But at the very last second, Andrew floors it and clears the bridge as the structure crashes into the water behind him. Morier catches up at the harbor and cuts them off, driving his car straight at the brothers. And out of nowhere, a bus smashes into him at full force. His car explodes and plunges into the water. Morier is dead, and the driver of that bus, Devon, who finally confesses her love to Garrett, right there in the wreckage. The crew loads the cars onto a cargo ship. Mission complete. And now the movie unloads everything at once. First reveal. Those 2 Interpol officers were working with Andrew from the very beginning. Never a threat, always part of the plan. And just as you are sitting with that, realizing the cops were fake and the whole chase was staged, the movie hits you with the bigger one. Max was in on it too. That Bugatti heist at the very start? Never the goal. It was bait, dangled to lure Morier into a trap, so the brothers could rob him of everything. Max is thrilled, impressed, fully convinced he just helped pull off the perfect crime, and won. But remember that security code Andrew caught through the glass? A few days later, Devon rolls up driving Max's $50 million Ferrari. Andrew had handed her that code, and she had built her own separate crew to clean out Max's entire collection of ultra-rare Ferraris, worth far more than everything they took from Morier. The brothers did not just outsmart one crime lord. They played the two most dangerous men alive against each other, used them both, and vanished with everything. And that is how this wild, twist-stacked heist finally ends. So be straight with me. Did you catch that security code moment the first time? Because that one blink and you miss it detail was the entire movie hiding in plain sight. And here is the thing. If you watched all the way to here, you clearly loved this breakdown. Which makes it sting a little that you might scroll off without subscribing. It is free. It takes 1 second. And it is the only reason I get to keep making videos like this. Do not leave me hanging after I just walked you through this whole heist. One last thing. Settle this in the comments. Which move was smarter? Robbing Morier of his entire collection? Or stealing Max's Ferraris right out from under the guy who helped them? Tell me what you think. Hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.